Hi there, Elizabeth Hines here from the Autoimmune Free Cooking Club and our Paleo family, and we're talking Thanksgiving this week. I'm showing you how to make some of the traditional Thanksgiving classic recipes in a paleo way so that you can get through the holidays without derailing your diet. And today we're making a fresh cranberry relish, cranberry salad, whatever you call it. Yes, you can buy that stuff in a can. There are people in my family who happen to love the jellied kind in a can. The problem with those is that there's a ton of sugar in them. There may be a sugar-free version of that jelly one. I'm not completely sure. But if so, it's got a whole bunch of other yucky stuff in it. So we're doing fresh and natural, and you can see all these ingredients I have. It's going to be really, really delicious. And what I have going in my pan right here, I don't know what that is 1 10-ounce bag of frozen raspberries. Actually, they're not frozen anymore because they're in my pan. So this came from my mom's traditional recipe that she made for years. And it had a box of raspberry gelatin in it. Well, I haven't found any natural raspberry gelatin that has ingredients that I like, and so we make our own. And this actually varies a little bit from the recipe that I have in my holiday cookbook. I have a holiday ebook I put out a couple of years ago, gosh, maybe 3 years ago now, called Your Paleo Holiday. You can get that from Amazon or Apple iBooks. And in that recipe I said just use a box of raspberry gelatin. But we're kicking it up a little notch here, and we can do that because this can be made way ahead. Cranberry salad, relish, again, whatever you want to call it. Same thing. So that's the zest of a gigantic orange. You don't need a gigantic orange. That's just the size that they had at the store. The cranberry relish is going to last in your fridge for up to 2 weeks. I've seen different numbers, but at least a week and up to 2 weeks. So you can make this way ahead. I start preparing for Thanksgiving. If you watched my intro video, you saw this like the weekend before. I'm getting my groceries and that sort of thing. But I really start my full-time prep on Monday, the Monday before Thanksgiving. And you can make this cranberry relish on Monday or Tuesday. Definitely don't wait till Thursday. There's no reason to do it that day. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cooking down my raspberries, and then I'm going to run them through my sieve here to get out the seeds. You don't have to do that, but I don't like all those seeds. I don't like to eat them. They get stuck in my teeth, and I've got kids with braces, and so I'm just trying to be respectful of that. So I zested that orange, so I'm going to go ahead and juice it. So what I'm going to do is make the sort of gelatin mixture in one place, and then I'll get everything else in this other bowl. They did have organic cranberries at my Whole Foods yesterday, and I was just feeling a little bit thrifty, and so I bought the conventional ones, but you can probably find organic ones if that is important to you. I don't know why I didn't get the organic ones. I almost always make that choice, but anyway, whatever was going through my brain at that moment, I decided not to. I've got the classic ocean spray, which you can find in the produce section of most grocery stores this time of year. They actually had some frozen ones at Whole Foods as well. As soon as I finish juicing this orange, I will take my raspberries off. This is going to be the hot liquid that I'm going to add my gelatin to. So however much orange juice that was, that's how much orange juice we have. It's probably about 1/3 of a cup. Okay, I am going to need this pan and this stove again. Let me just scoot that to the side for a second so I can show you what we're doing here. I'm actually going to use a rubber spatula because I want to get all those seeds out. I love the flavor of raspberries, and I don't mind eating them fresh, but when they're, cooked or soft like this, I don't really enjoy those seeds. So I want to get them all out. I'll deal with that in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and get my cranberries in this pot because I need to cook those down. I want them to pop. And so I'm going to add, I need 2 tablespoons of honey, and that's about what's in this bottle, kind of drained to the bottom. Now it's all over my finger. I use some honey and maple syrup. You can use all of one or the other if you prefer. If you cook many of my recipes, you'll notice I do that a lot. I don't love the flavor of honey, but sometimes I don't want a lot of the maple flavor from maple syrup, so I tend to mix them. I'm also going to put 1/4 cup of maple syrup in here. This is all getting mixed together, so it doesn't matter if I mix up my spatula. Let's see, what other liquid do I need to put in there? The cranberries, the honey, the maple syrup. Oh, I was supposed to put this in. Stir that, give it a little stir, and put it on about medium heat. And you want to put a lid on because there's a big piece of the pulp. Not the pulp, but like that. I can't think of what it's called. That, like, you know, the membrane-y stuff from the orange. You want a lid on this because they'll pop and kind of explode. Okay, so now that's going, and I'll return my attention back to my raspberries. So I just want to press the pulp out, and you'll see we'll end up with not a whole lot left in here. Most of the pulp of the raspberry will get out. But while this is still boiling hot, I'm going to put in, I want to get a little bit of liquid in my pan. I'm going to put in 1 of these packets of Knox gelatin. Just going to kind of sprinkle that over. And then I'll keep working on. I'm sort of pressing, I don't know if you can see. Just stir, stir, stir. If you haven't been to the gym already, you get a nice little shoulder, forearm workout here. And like I said before, you could totally skip this step. You could just boil the raspberries and add your, or just boil this whole mixture together and add your gelatin to it, but I don't like the seeds. So tell me what you're doing for Thanksgiving. I would love to know. I know a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some people go skiing. Some people go someplace warm. Do you host Thanksgiving? Do you go to grandma's house, your mom's house? Does everybody take something, or does the hostess or host prepare everything? How do you do it? I'd love to know if you do one of those deep fried turkeys. I've heard so much about that. I've heard that they really taste amazing. And I don't think I've ever tried one. I've never made it for sure. I don't think I've eaten one either. I have had turducken. The thing that's like a turkey stuffed with a duck, stuffed with a chicken. My first job out of college, it was a small company, and our boss had us all over for, I think it was Christmas, and he brought a turducken. It was strange. You could really do this for a very long time. I did work out this morning, and my shoulders are sore, so I'm quitting. You just want to then go and run your spatula along the outside because a lot of that pulp will just be stuck to your sieve. Again, if you're not a total purist and you don't care about the sugar or the artificial sugar, just buy a packet of raspberry gelatin. It is really fine. I'm going to use my whisk to make sure I get that gelatin all mixed in. You don't want any like lumps of jelly. Very pleasant. Okay, so I want to sieve this because there's something in there. I don't know if it's a lump of gelatin or what, but I want to make sure I don't have anything weird in there. You could, like if you had a little lump of gelatin that didn't dissolve, you could add a little bit of boiling water or put it in there, add it to your cranberries. This might seem a little fussy, but you know what? Turn on a TV show, turn on a podcast, turn on your favorite music, listen to something, you know, do this with your family. Make it enjoyable. Figure out a way to enjoy cooking. It will make your life a whole lot easier, especially if you're trying to be managing your disease with diet and lifestyle. It'll be a whole lot easier if you figure out how to enjoy cooking. It's so fun. It's so satisfying to make something homemade that tastes really good. You feel proud of yourself. Okay, so that part's ready. It's going to just help it set up, you know, help it gel, solidify. I don't need this one. Let me turn this down a tad. It's really bubbling away. They're starting to pop open. It smells so good, the orange. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum. We want all of them to pop open. I got a whiff of the maple syrup. Okay, so this might be kind of extra that you did not have in your traditional cranberry sauce, but we add some apple. I like just a nice firm sweet apple. So this is a Honeycrisp, a splurge. They're so expensive. Why are Honeycrisp so expensive? But I bought one. Gala is traditionally a pretty good apple. They're nice and sweet and firm. Fuji can be firm, but Fuji's sometimes are kind of mushy. You definitely don't want a Red Delicious, Golden Delicious. My mom always puts some toasted pecans or walnuts in her version. I don't care for that because I don't like soggy nuts. They get a little salty after a while. So I don't put those in mine. If you like that flavor, which I do like the flavor, you could toast some, pecans or walnuts is what I would recommend. Toast them and hold them out. Just keep them on your counter and add them at the last minute, like sprinkle them on top, like a garnish almost. So you just want nice little cubes of your apple. And we're also going to chop up some pineapple, which again, I bought fresh pineapple. I just like the flavor better, and it's Thanksgiving, so I'm doing it as special as I can. But you can certainly use canned pineapple. If you do, just be sure to drain it. And you want about a cup. So, one apple, however big it is, however big or small, it doesn't matter. About a cup of pineapple. I won't use all of this pineapple in here, so I can treat my children and let them have a little for their lunch today. But you just want to chop it pretty small. We're talking relish, so think chopping small. You could use a food processor if you wanted to help you just get everything chopped up. I wouldn't go to that trouble, but you certainly can. Get all those little seeds out. For that matter, if you're going to buy canned, you could buy crushed. Then you're still getting all that pineapple flavor, and you don't even have to chop it. Just drain it really well. This might seem strange too, but trust me, you need a little bit of salt. So just 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and also 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Just a little bit of cinnamon adds a really nice flavor. And then I think that's everything. We're just waiting for our cranberries to pop. I would say, or I would suggest, that you give your relish a taste because you might like it a little sweeter. And if you do, you can certainly add more honey or maple syrup, or you could add something like a monk fruit, or I really like liquid stevia. I'll show you my bottle in just a second, because it's very easy to just add a teeny bit. It's easy to control it. So can you see how these have popped open? For the most part, they're mostly open. I'll let them go for just another couple minutes. So this is organic stevia extract liquid. This is a 2-ounce bottle. This is the Whole Foods brand. There are different brands. I like Now Foods. That's a good quality one that I would trust. I wouldn't trust all brands, so definitely pay attention to the ingredients. This one is, if I can read it here, organic stevia extract in a base of deionized water, and I think it's either 1% or 11%. I think it's 11% organic alcohol. So you don't want any other weird stuff in your stevia. And this little bottle, I'll put it in my coffee when I sweeten my coffee. I bake with it, something like this, where you just want, I just want a little drop. Like if I make homemade pudding or something, it's real easy to just add a drop of sweetness. It lasts forever, and it's like $7. It's not very expensive. I think these are probably good. Smells so good. Last night we had, so the turkey in the Instant Pot has already gone up. I hope you've seen that. But I forgot to take pictures of it to actually write up that recipe. So I made that again last night with the sweet potato casserole. And I'm telling you, the turkey in the Instant Pot, my house smelled like Thanksgiving, just like if I was roasting a turkey in the oven. We weren't missing anything by using the Instant Pot rather than the oven. So you see how that has gotten this nice deep color. The pectin, so there's a lot of pectin in cranberries and apples actually. So it'll have that nice sort of jelly texture. We have a little bit of gelatin in there, but the natural pectin in the fruit will help as well. And so we had the 1/4 cup of maple syrup and 2 tablespoons of honey. And aside from that, you know, cranberries are very tart, but apples are sweet, oranges are sweet, pineapple is sweet, kind of sweet and tart. Raspberries are sweet and tart. So it's a nice recipe. It's not too much of any one thing, in my opinion. So let's give it a little taste. And it's going to be hot, so I'm going to cool for a second. You could leave out the pineapple. You could leave out the apple. You could add in pear. You could add in some more citrus. You could really change this up in a lot of ways to suit your taste, your family's taste. But you're the chef. You make it the way you want it. I really love it. So good. It has so many flavors. I love it. Delish. So cover it. Stick it in the fridge. Get yourself in the behind with your drawer. Stick it in the fridge and wait till you're ready. Thanksgiving. Or go ahead and have some ahead of time. This is one of those things that I think you either love it or you hate it, but this version I love. The jelly kind and the can, I don't care for that, but this kind I love. So there we go. Cranberry relish for Thanksgiving. Make that way ahead of time. Stick it in the fridge. Make your Thanksgiving day easier. And come back for dressing. We still have to make the dressing, which is really what I live for Thanksgiving. So come back for that, and I'll see you next time.